ISIS came from they came from both abroad and inside. The actual ISIS organization came from abroad. It came from Iraq, the successor to Al Qaeda in Iraq, that was formed in the wake of the United States invasion of 2003. And when the Syrian crisis erupted, Al Qaeda in Iraq, or Islamic State in Iraq as they renamed themselves, deliberately sent agents into Syria to create their own cells to form a presence inside Syria. And from that operation, we saw two groups emerge, Jabhat al-Nusra and ISIS. Of course, had there been no support for these ideas, then those groups would never have taken off inside Syria. But actually there was some sympathy for that radical jihadist model. In some cases it was people that had fought jihad in the past, going over from Syria into Iraq to fight against the Americans, and that had actually been facilitated by the Assad regime in the first place. They actually allowed and encouraged jihadists to go over into Iraq during the 2000s to fight the Americans, so there was state sponsorship of jihadism. But also some people were desperate as a result of decades, but also more recently, the recent years of violence from the Assad state. After a huge amount of violence, people did turn to radical solutions as the only ones that would be successful. It was a minority, but it was still enough people for them to actually get a foothold on the ground, and then you get the emergence of this radical, self-declared caliphate. But on top of that, once it had been declared, you have to also look at what role the Assad regime played in ISIS's development. What's very interesting is that after ISIS declared itself in 2013, and even to an extent after it seized Mosul and declared the caliphate in 2014, the Assad regime did not really target ISIS strongholds as hard as it targeted other rebel groups. The Assad regime clearly calculated that it was in its interest for the rebels to radicalize, and therefore they were more inclined to attack areas where there were more moderate rebels, and to leave this self-declared caliphate alone to, in many ways, allow it to grow a little bit further. And to an extent they were successful. This group was not crushed in its infancy. It was able to grow, and it was able to absorb some more rebel groups at the same time when more moderate rebel forces were constantly being attacked by the Assad regime. So there has been some deliberate sort of machinations from Damascus in encouraging and fomenting this group.